I'll share something very short. I heard this tonight. I heard this thought tonight, and the reason why I thought it was beautiful is because I sort of lived it a few days ago. I'll explain quickly as we go along. Everyone knows the Gemara Megillah, Yehuda Ma'isa V'Simcha V'Sasin V'Kar. And the Gemara says, what is Sasa in Simcha? Ayra Simcha Sasin V'Kar. Ayra Zutaira. That's the part we know. Mila, Shabbos, etc. The question is, the Yidden before the story of Purim were also learning Torah. And they were also doing all these things. So what exactly does it mean that now, Yehudim Ha'isa, and why in a remez? Why didn't the pasuk just say it straight? Yehudim Ha'isa, not Ayra, say Yehudim Ha'isa Torah. Why it is all a remez? So the Sfas Emes says something absolutely incredible. With this we could explain why Eisav's head is in Ma'aras HaMachpelah. So just at Ma'aras HaMachpelah, and you walk in, I don't know if anyone has ever been there recently, and the first Ma'ara, the first cave over there, it's open, and there's a big tomb, which we know is nothing, but it's a big something there, covered with all the shrouds, and there's no plaque. It doesn't say who's buried there. So I went over to one of the guys and I said, who's in the first one? So he starts laughing at me. I said, no, who's in the first one? So he brings me over. He says, that Rosh Shel Eisav. This is Eisav's head. And then I saw on the side, it was written a whole long thing, Eisav's head. So why are they showing it? Because the Arabs, obviously, and I think we all grew up, that why was Eisav's head Zeicha to go into Ma'aras HaMachpelah? Because at least his head was good. At least he had good thoughts. At least he had good. So the Sfas Emes says, Yehudim Ha'isa Ayra V'Simcha V'Sasin V'Kar. Why is it as a remez? It's a remez because before the Purim story to after the Purim story, the cosmic shift went from before they learned Torah, but they didn't learn it with their whole body. They weren't the Ayra, they weren't Torah itself. There was Sasim, there was Simcha, but then they brought it and part of their visceral being, part of their actual guf, part of their physical body. Why was Eisav's head in Ma'aras HaMachpelah? Because his head had good intentions, but his body was never Zeicha to be part of Ma'aras HaMachpelah. His body was never servicing Hashem appropriately. And that's really the incredible avodah of Purim particularly, and really of a Yid, is to connect our minds with our souls and to make it all one. When we're eating, everything we're doing is a portion, is a chilek of avodas Hashem, whether it's eating, whether it's dancing. And that's really Purim. Why do we see this the greatest on Purim? What do we do on Purim? Nichnas, yayin, yotzasai. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter used to say that Purim is the litmus test for the guf. We get rid of our mind, and what's your body going to do without your mind? So in Eisav, the non-Jews, the Goyim, the secular world around us, they don't understand this. They think parties are for parties, and religion is for religion. And the two never meet. So they're excited that Eisav's head is in there because, his head was so good. But we say the exact opposite. Says the Sfas Emes, that our avodah is to connect our head with our body. In all the actions we do throughout the day, every moment is an opportunity to be a mitzvah, is an opportunity to be serving Hashem, or the opposite, from one's work to one's interactions with other people. Even davening could be something that you could sit there and you could say the words, and it's a beautiful, I don't want to say this, but it was an Eisav type of davening. Your mouth said the words and your head was there, but where was your guf? Where was your body? Or you could have a davening that you're all there. Your entire body is there. One of the reasons why we shackle when we daven, I think the Mishnah Berurah even brings down this reason, is because your whole body is involved in the tefillah. So as we march towards Purim, Mishnichlas Adar Marabin B'Simcha, and B'dafka it's not Rosh Chodesh. Because Rosh Chodesh, we got a little bit of the Simcha, and every day we get a little more. The Stipler used to drink a cup of wine every single day of the month of Adar. Because you have to have Simcha. You have to have Simcha. You have to have Simcha. It's a real thing. And how do we connect to Simcha? How do we get there? Well, obviously the greatest way is the more that we serve Hashem, the more, but not just serve Hashem with our minds, not just learn with our intellect, which is beautiful, it's great. But we learn with our entire body, and anyone who's been learning, anyone that's been davening, anyone that's been doing anything productive in their life understands that when you connect the mind with your body, you make it a full body experience. The guf with the neshama, the soul with the intellect. And when you put it all together, aside for the fact that's the most incredible way of serving Hashem, it also feels good. It also feels good in this world, because that's a physical, something that we could all tangible experience. So b'siyata d'shmaya, and this is of course we could be mayach. This is of course how we fight Amalek. This is how we fight the Yetzer Hara, and we could go on. But the hour is late, so suffice it to say that when we look at the Maras Machpelah, in my mind I'm looking there and I'm seeing Eisav's head. I mean, somewhere 4,000 feet underneath, but it's somewhere there. But you know what? It reminds us it's just his head made it. And that's not something we should aspire to. We should aspire to daven, to learn, to have beautiful brains, beautiful intellects. But don't just make it an intellectual endeavor. Make your body part of it. And that's part of making the learning gishmak and making it fun and making it enjoyable. And in Mirza Hashem, the more that we work on this each and every day, being marbe, a little more simcha, a little more avodah, a little more of the full body when we get to Purim. When we get to Purim and it'll be nichnas yayin, what's the soy that's going to come out? What's it going to be? The Goyim can't understand it. When they have their drunken parties, we don't even want to know what happens. And you look at a real Purim Suda, you look at what comes out of people's mouths, the beauty, the ava, the love. Where does that come from? That comes only from someone that spent the time putting into his body only good things. So Mirza Hashem, we should get there. It's an avodah. It's not easy. But we should work. Mishnichlas Adam, Marbim B'Simcha. A little bit more. It's not so hard either. A little bit. Marbim B'Simcha. A little bit more tefillah, a little bit more chesed, a little bit more Torah. But let's always remember, there's two ways to do it. You could call someone up and you could ask him, how you doing? You're feeling okay? While you're doing 12 other things. And you hang up the phone and the guy didn't feel like you really asked him how he was doing. He knows you were doing something else. Or he could put your whole body, your whole mind into it. And it's a different experience and he could feel it and you could feel it. So, as we march towards the bracha, the tefillah, the schos in Mirza Hashem, will be to get there. Will be to sit together on Purim, make a l'chaim, and as the yayin will be nichnas, the soy that's going to come out will be the most incredible oira leimudim ma'isa oira v'simcha v'sasoin v'ikar shkoyah.